Hi, I'm Kerry Greenwald, Creekside Mortgage. I want to take a moment now to talk about budgeting and the importance of it. You either just did a refinance or you're planning on what your future is going to be. It's so essential and so important to always create a budget. A budget is something that is difficult for us individually. We think money coming in, money going out, hey, who cares? But it's really essential to have a plan and have a budget to go match that. Being in this industry, I can't begin to tell you how much I hate credit cards. I mean, I despise credit cards. I'll watch an individual pay something that costs $50, which any of us would walk in there and pay $50 to buy that item, put it on a credit card, pay it over time, end up paying 2 to 5 times what that item would be. Would you ever buy that item if it was $250? I doubt it. So credit cards are something that really drive me nuts. And saying that same thing, I'll witness people a lot coming into my office that will accelerate their home loan, trying to pay it off quicker, but yet at the same time have $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 in consumer debt. That's not correctly doing your budget. The first thing you always want to essentially go through and do is pay off credit cards. Get rid of credit cards, and yet they'll attract you with the zero interest, the low rates, no payments for a while, low payments. People come into me and say, hey, but I'm paying $500 and only asking me for $2. Great. Pay them nothing and pay yourself $500 is what I'm trying to get you to the point to be able to go through and do. So it's very essential to budget yourself to go through and do it. So now you've completed potentially a refinance, or you got yourself back to zero where you don't have any debt. Now we got to have a game plan to make sure you don't get back in that same road again. And it's very easy. It's very attractive. It's very, our society, our system's designed to get back into debt again because it's just the American way to go through and do. We want something, we want it now. We don't want to budget ourselves to go through and over time save up for it, but it's really essential that we do that. So the first step to go through, you've got all that taken care of. You've either refinanced and paid off a vehicle, paid off all your credit card debt, or paid off everything. Now we're creating a plan moving forward. You have a certain amount of money coming in, whether it's $4,000 a month or $15,000 a month, it's still essential to go through and create that budget off of it. So we pay our house payment, obviously that's going to come out of that equation. Then the next part we have to do is pay off our credit card debt. Whether we're putting gas on a card or something that's paid off on a monthly basis, it's got to pay it off in full. Then we have to essentially put money into our savings, so we have a backup in case anything ever goes through and happens. Third, we put it into retirement. The fourth tier we would go through and do is accelerator paying off our house after we've taken care of those first two. People will come back and pay off a car as part of their loan. I'm not against that, except it's very important to go through and never have to do an auto loan again. So if you paid it off, you got to create an auto account, put $200, $300, $400, whatever your budget allows into that account. So next time you need to buy a car, you have the asset, you have the cash to go through and buy the car. I've seen people off of $30,000 a year income able to create a budget and not have to use credit cards. I've seen people making $250,000 a year have $100,000 in credit card debt. So a lot of us think it's income driven. It's not. It's discipline and going creating living within your means to go and create that. And the banking system is solely designed when you need money again, you go back to the bank. I'm suggesting, if you listen to the words I'm saying, is not use your home loan as a piggy bank. Try to use it as something to go through and get yourself out of debt. Create an environment to where you're not having to go back to that again down the road. You're making sure you're planning for college, planning for everything that will come up in the future. You're planning for it now, not dealing with it later, going back to the house and using that. So I know a lot of us do, I know a lot of us have. It's not that, it's trying to set up discipline in the future. So definitely reach out to me individually. I'd love to go through and help you go through and show you designs how to create a budget, to go through and do all this stuff at the end of a transaction, or even in the beginning when you're going through and trying to say, well, what's the best next step? But getting rid of that debt is ideal. Starting at zero is ideal. It's the after, what you go through and do, is the key to future success. So hopefully that makes sense, and any more questions, definitely reach out to me anytime. Thanks.